Hello everyone. Welcome to the faculty walkthrough of the Ignite platform by the Wadhwani Foundation. In this video, I'll guide you through the key functionalities available to faculty members, including creating and managing cohorts, inviting students to the platform, releasing and evaluating milestones, setting and monitoring deadlines, and generating reports to track venture progress of your students effectively. So let's get started. If you are very new to the platform, this is the first time you're logging in, then check for an invite mail that we would have sent to you to register yourself as a faculty on Ignite platform. For that, go to your mail inbox, check for a mail similar to this, where we would have sent you a mail from noreply@wfglobal.org. It will come with a body like this, where we will share with you an OTP, a one-time password, and also a link to log into the platform. So we would request you to click or copy paste this into a new tab. So let's click here and you'll be able to see the homepage of Wadhwani Foundation platform. Now on this page, click on login, that is available in the top right, and here type in your email ID on which you have received the mail from Wadhwani Foundation. I will take that ID and copy paste it here or type that mail ID over here. And for the password, first time, copy paste this one-time password you have received in the invite mail. So I have received 1918. Whatever one-time password that you have received, copy paste that. Click on sign in. Once I click on sign in, it will ask me to create a new password which I'll use for all my future login. So let me create a new password here. After typing the password 2 times, click on the square check-in box to accept the Wadhwani policy and then click on confirm password. Once I click on confirm password, you'll be asked to complete your profile here. Type our country's detail. Of course, we will put India, and then city, whichever city you're from. Put it here. And once that has been populated, click on save. If a cohort is already created in your name, then you should see the cohort information like this. For example here, let's say if I'm a faculty from a college called PSGR handling the session for BCom students there, then the cohort name may look something like this. Now, this is cohort name. Here is an information about cohort ID. Here is information about the program that is being offered. Here the program is Ignite India. It can be Ignite India, it can be Ignite Light 2, or it can be Ignite Bootcamp program. Here's the start date and here is the end date. Now, if you want to see details about this cohort, click on the cohort name. Please click on the cohort name. Once I click on the cohort name, I go inside the cohort and I see details about the cohort. Now, this is the homepage for this cohort and this is the dashboard for this cohort. And here you can see different tabs such as cohort dashboard, scorecard, general info, milestones, release milestone, cohort venture, and cohort members. What is the first step of managing students inside your venture? Let's learn that. So go to cohort members tab, click on manage students. Click on manage students. And you can easily observe here how many students are part of your cohort. The information is available here. These are cohort students. These are students who received the invite mail and registered themselves to the platform. So I can see here all the students who received the invite mail have registered themselves. If somebody hasn't registered themselves to the platform, you can find that detail under pending request. So by that, you can call up the student or remind that student saying you haven't completed the registration process. How about quickly doing it? Because without registering themselves to the platform, they cannot consume the content, complete the milestones, and definitely not get certified on the platform. So they will not be able to complete the program or get certified through the platform. So please remind students who are under pending registration to do the same. Let's say 1 or 2 students who missed to register themselves to the platform. What would you do? Like maybe when the database was given was wrong or there was a typo error. Very simple. Again, go to manage students, click on invite students on the top, and here you can send invite mail to that individual student. by just typing their email ID here and sending an invite. Once you do this, you can see an invite sent successfully coming up here. Go back to invite students and see in pending request, there will be a request sent to that particular email ID. Now, as even you conduct the program, the next important step any faculty has to do is to release the milestones on a timely basis. Remember, completion of milestone will help you understand the progress of the practice ventures that are under your cohort. So how to do it? So you can see an option called release milestone. Click on it and you should be able to see number of milestones. So this is an Ignite India full program, as you can see on the top. So it has 3 milestones. If you're offering Ignite Lite program, it may have only 2 milestones. So depending upon the program that you're offering, you have different number of milestones. So how to find the same? Well, click on their program over here and go to the course content and understand how the milestones are faced. So here you can see we have module 0 to module 4, and then you have quiz 1, then you have module 5 to module 7, and then you have quiz 2, then you have module 8 to module 10, then you have quiz 3. Now, if you go to the venture journey part of an Ignite India program, let me show you one as an example of a student's venture journey platform. Here it is. Well, if you go through the venture journey platform, you will also be able to find out that after the 4th module, the students are able to submit a milestone 1. After the end of 7th module, the students are able to submit milestone 2. And after the end of 12th module, 11th module, the students are able to submit milestone 3. So this is how milestone 1, 2, 3 submissions are for Ignite India program. Now, if you're offering Ignite Lite program, after the end of module 4, they have to submit 1 milestone, and after the end of module 10, they have to submit the 2nd milestone. Before the submission of each milestone, they have to attempt the quiz. So there is a quiz 1 just before they attempt the milestone 1, they submit the milestone 1, and it is conditional. One of the team member has to go through the quiz to get the milestone submitted. It's a mandatory requirement. And before they submit the next milestone, they'll have to give a quiz. And this quiz will be based upon all the course content they learned in the modules before that. For example, if they are giving quiz 1 is based upon the course content in module 1 to 4. I hope this is clear to you. Now, let's go back to the home page. Now, how do you release a milestone? Click on the cohort name. Once you enter in on the home page of the cohort, you'll be able to see release milestone option. And then over here, whichever milestone you want to release. Milestone 1, for example, here is released with the due date. But let's say I want to release milestone 2. I can click on release milestone option and it will ask me which date I wish to release it. So let's say if I'm releasing it today, I can click on the particular date on which I want to release and give OK, and then give a due date on which I want the submission from the students and set the time for the due date, give OK and hit release. Okay, there is an option called enable peer reviews. I would say it can be enabled only in the exceptional cases. Otherwise, please leave it as it is, because peer reviewing by students do not work in the best interest of the cohort's performance. So leave it unchecked and click on release. Now, once you release, you can see the milestone has got released with the due date that you have mentioned, and even the students at their end will get an intimation on their WhatsApp or their email ID that they have shared when they registered themselves to the platform. On that, they'll get an intimation to submit the milestone on so and so date, right? So this is how you release the milestone. Got it? Now you have released the milestone, and let's say some students haven't finished the submission of milestones. For example, Now, once you have released a milestone, how do you check how many students have submitted the milestone? For example, here, I released Ignite Venture Milestone 1, and here there are 14 students out of 17 students who have submitted. How do I know it? The information is here on submissions. 17 means how many ventures are there on the platform, how many ventures are created, and out of that ventures which are created, how many of them have submitted the milestones. How do you evaluate a milestone? How do you evaluate the submission of milestone done by the students? Click on the submit option over here. For example, here it is 14 by 17. When I click on it, I get all these submissions by the students. Right? These are ventures which students have submitted the milestone. All that I have to do is click on this particular venture. For example, I want to evaluate this venture KiddoCraft. I can click on it and it will lead me to a page where I can see the deck on the left. For example, here I can see the deck on the left and I can see their content on the deck, right? How they have done the venture activities. And based upon this, I have a rubric on the right, and using this rubric, I can evaluate these ventures. So how have they written the problem statement? How then the market segmentation? A detailed video on how to evaluate the milestones are there, which we will share with you separately on demand. I hope this is clear to you. This is how you evaluate the milestones. Once you evaluate the milestone, the scores of those respective milestones will also be visible here. For example, let me show in another cohort how the scores are visible. This is how it is visible. The star rating showcases how much did the venture score on an average for that specific milestone that they had submitted. If you want to see which teams, venture teams, practice venture teams have not submitted the milestone yet, just click on view more here and populate all the venture list, and you can see over here in the bottom, Fresh Bite Foods, Lilco and Skillbridge Academy. These are the 3 ventures who are yet to submit the milestone. How do I know? I can see not submitted. If you want, and if you find it appropriate for the right reasons, then you can select these 3 ventures and extend their deadline too. Can you see this extend deadline option here? You can click on extend deadline and then you can mention on which date they can submit the milestone. Select that date and time and give OK, and the milestone submission deadline will be extended for them, so that these students who were left out can submit it successfully. I hope this is clear to you. Let's move on. Going back to the home page, here are some other informations that you can look for. For example, on the top, you also have information about how many students are part of your cohort and how many ventures they have created. The first tab gives you a summary about the ventures students have created. The second tab gives you a summary on the scorecard. That means in the quizzes that the students have taken, how much they have scored. You can click on view complete scorecard. That is available here. For all your academic purposes, you can download this view scorecard. You can go and view this scorecard over here for each and every student, right? How much they have scored in quiz 1, quiz 2, and if they have not attempted the quiz 3, that will also be visible here. You can also download cohort performance. As you can see here, if I click on this download cohort performance, an Excel sheet would be downloaded, which you can open and check individual students' quiz 1, quiz 2, quiz 3 status as well as their scores. In case if you want these marks for your internal mark entry or whatever purpose, you can definitely download the scorecard from here. As a faculty, let's say you wish to access faculty resources so that you can take the sessions more effectively. Well, that option is very much here. Click on faculty resources and a new tab will open up where you can go and scroll down and see module by module and lesson by lesson lesson plan as well as faculty deck attached over here, right? So for example, I want to view what is develop macro industry perspective and how do I offer this, how do I explain this concept to my students? What PPT can I take to my classroom? You don't have to create anything. Just click on this option here, preview, and you'll be able to see a PPT deck loading here, which you can easily take to a classroom and facilitate the session. Well, you also have the facility to download this PPT in case you want the PPT offline and take it to the classroom and facilitate. The other option that you see on the platform here is a digital library. You can see a lot of articles and videos on various concepts related to entrepreneurship and innovation, which can help you as a faculty and also your students to deep dive and sharpen their understanding and apply it in real world startup scenarios. So go ahead, have a look at this. You can also check the performance of your cohort by clicking on performance option here, selecting the course that you're offering, and check their quiz performance. This is the overall performance dashboard. If you scroll down, you can also see student by student the scores that they have got in each quiz. Also the milestone status, which milestone has been submitted by the student and what are their scores. You can download this entire information if you want through the download cohort performance option that is available here, and an Excel sheet will be populated with the information regarding which student has submitted which milestone or completed which quiz and how much they have scored in each quiz. Now let's say as a faculty you have some doubt on the platform, or you find some error, some bug, and you would wish to report it to someone. Very simple. Go to the top of the page. On the right side you see this option called help. Click on it and you would see this Wadhwani entrepreneurship support page opening up. Go ahead, raise a ticket, whatever problem that you're facing on the platform. Click on this option, submit a ticket, mention your email ID, subject of whatever problem that you see on the platform. Let's say and briefly describe what is the problem that you saw. For example, if you can take a screenshot of that very problem and attach it here, well, that will also help us. Okay, once you submit it, the ticket is raised and we'll definitely try to get back to you within 24 hours after solving this problem. Let's say you wish to see the performance of each venture. For example, how many venture activities they have done and what is the quality of each activity that they have done on the platform. Well, it's easy. Go to Cohort Ventures. If you can click on Cohort Ventures, you can open a specific startup. For example, here, Fresh Bite Foods. I click on this Fresh Bite Foods and I can see details about who all are part of this venture, right? And details about what is the startup about. And then I can click on this option called Venture Journey. When I click on this option called Venture Journey, I would come to know how many venture activities this student group has done and what are the inputs that they have given. The slides are visible here. If you want to make it full screen, if you want to view it bigger, click on View Slides and you can go slide by slide and see how these students have done the venture activities. You can also see it through the view output option here. Let's say you want to comment something on it. You can click on comment and write a comment and the students will be able to see that comment. Now, if you want to find out if all your students are part of a venture, or are there some of them who have registered themselves to the platform but are still not part of any venture, or those students who have still not created any venture, simple. Go to option called Cohort Members, scroll down, and if a student has created the venture, for example here Yogendra Singh, he has created a venture. His venture name is Disposable Dishware. That detail will be available right under his name. But if a student has not created the venture, for example, here is a student called Varsha Sharma who has registered herself to the platform but has not created any venture. So this is a red flag. So as a faculty, you can call up the student and say, why have you not created the venture? And you can encourage those students to create the venture at the earliest. So this is how you can identify which students have created the venture and not created the venture. If you scroll down, click view more, you can see the report for your entire cohort similarly. Now let's say in the future, as a faculty, you wish to create a new cohort. Very simple. You have to click on this option called create new cohort in your homepage. Now from the backend, we have mapped you to a specific institution. Select that specific institution name, which will come in the institute database here. Delivery model. If it is something that you are going to offer in an offline mode as a faculty present on the floor, then it is D2F, direct to faculty. But if it is something that is going to be offered in an online mode by our facilitators, then it is D2C or D2S. So I would suggest you select a specific option based upon the delivery model. Select the course which is mapped to you. Here it is Ignite India program. Select the stage. It is usually idea stage because the students are still ideating and they have not come up with any startup. Cohort name. Now here the cohort name, give some initials. So you can mention your college in short form. Then you can mention your department name. For example, if it is MEC department which is taking this particular course, you can mention it. And if it is, which section are they? So let's say if I mention section A, whatever. So give a format for the cohort name, right? This is a format, institution name, department name, and if they have any section. Start date is the date you start the session with. So if I am starting it today, I give that start date. End date is a date that is usually your semester end or the day you plan to finish this cohort, which includes its evaluation. So let's say it's a 14-week program. So I may finish it by May 31st, just an assumption. And how many students are allowed in this cohort? It's total 10. So let's say if you have 60 students in a classroom, give 60 or maybe give 5 students more and max students allowed. How many students are allowed in this cohort? It depends upon how many students are going to register to this particular cohort. Maximum students allowed per venture. Now this is like if the students create a venture, ideally how many students can become part of a venture. Now we would recommend to keep it not more than 3, because ideally if a student can create a venture of maximum 3 people, they all put equal effort in every detailing of that venture. If you mention 3 over here, student can form 3, a team of 3 or a team of 2, or if they want, they can even do a venture activity all alone as an individual. Click on save and next. And on the next page, you'll be able to see that a new cohort is created, right? Now, if you go to your home page, you'll be able to see one more cohort created here. So this is how you create a cohort. Now let's say if you wish to send invites to a group of students in a bulk, let's say the entire classroom, how do you do it? Simple. Go to your platform, the cohort that you created, click on it. Now this is an already created cohort, so it is visible like this, but click on cohort members, click on manage students, click on invite students, and you can see an option called upload file here. Now what type of file you should upload? Click on download template. Now once the template gets downloaded, open that template. Here you can see you have student email ID on the top, and then you have email IDs you can type. Copy paste your entire class email ID over here, save it, and then upload the file over here. Once you upload the file, it will ask you, can we send invite? Click on send invite, and you should be able to see invite sent to the number of students. If the invites have failed for any reason, that report can be downloaded from here, from the option download. If any one or two students invite mails are not yet sent, you can send out invite mail over here by just typing their mail ID and sending them an invite mail. Hope this helps.